All right, everybody, we're back working on the 351 Windsor. So we did some pretty boring stuff on it last time that I don't think I filmed. I put the timing cover back on, and this timing cover is off a 289. This is a 351 Windsor. The Windsor block had holes down here for lineup dowels. Well, this cover was not made with lineup dowels, so I had to put the cover on loosely, put the harmonic balancer on so that would center the seal, and then I was able to bolt the timing cover on. So the timing cover has been bolted on, the harmonic balancer is on. We installed the fuel pump, we installed the oil pressure sending unit, we installed the motor mounts. This thing is getting heavy now. Let me try to roll it. There we go. Installed the oil pump and the oil pan. Very straightforward. You put the oil pump rod in and 2 bolts, and we torqued that down. We put the oil pan on, we put the motor mounts in, and I replaced the 6 freeze plugs that I popped out. So pretty boring stuff. You know, the oil pan just bolts on with a whole crap load of bolts. So today we're going to start working on the cylinder head. So we sent the cylinder heads out to the machine shop. I don't know which head it is. I don't know if it's this head or if it's that head. But water had gotten in and destroyed 2 of the seats. So they did a valve job on it. They replaced 4 seats, I do believe, and they got all new valve guide seals for me. Now, as you see, this one here does not have a valve spring. The reason why that doesn't have a valve spring is they were putting it together and it's got a broken valve spring. There is the broken piece right there. It's broken. So I also sent all this other stuff. Here is the retainer. Here are the keepers. Broken valve spring. I also sent these rocker arms. These rocker arms somehow hit the retainers. 2 of them. So I had to buy 2 new rocker arms. But there's something over here that I'm not sure what's going on with this cylinder head. If you look right here, this retainer is not in proper. This one is way too high and that one is way too low. And then there's a couple other ones, like this one here. I don't like the looks of this, and I don't like the look of that one. It looks like they hit it with a hammer. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but this keeper's definitely not in properly. Went ahead, I bought 1 valve spring, I bought a whole new set of retainers and a whole new bag of valve locks, because you do not want a valve falling out and destroying your engine. So now the next problem is I don't have a spring compressor, so I went to Harbor Freight and I went ahead and bought the Maddox, you know, spring compressor here, which actually looks really heavy duty. It feels good. It even has a spot to put a 1/4 inch ratchet in it. As you can see, let me get this in here, so you can get some torque on that thing. Okay, so but the problem that I think I might have with this spring compressor is, here is the new spring I have got. It has an inner and an outer spring. Well, this only grabs the outer spring. What is going to compress the inner spring? I don't know if I can push down on that with my hand to get the clips in. I'm not sure. If this doesn't work, I have a friend that has the C-style clamp valve spring compressor. We're probably going to have to go and get that. So I don't have a stand hooked up, but this is pretty well. You hook this onto the spring as low as you can get it, then you tighten the top down, and that will push the retainer back so you can get the valve locks out. Very simple. It should work good, but I don't know if it's going to work because these are double springed. So let me go ahead and get one of the new retainers out. I have the old retainer, and you can see there it looks like something was hitting on that. Maybe that rocker arm was hitting on that one. I don't know. But anyway, Bought a whole new set of retainers, new valve locks, one new spring, and we're going to go ahead and start assembling it. Let me see if I can get this spring compressed in the spring compressor to put this one back together. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm going to try to show you how to do this. Now I pulled out the new retainers. Now the retainers here. New retainer and the new locks. These are 10 degree, so they match 10 degree here and 10 degree here. That's what you're supposed to use. Now that spring here does not compress, but when I put it over top of this, I can press down and I can get that compressed. So then all I have to do is get the valve locks in there. Might take a little time. Get some light in there. Okay, there's the 1/2. I might actually have to grind that back. Let's get the other half in here. Of course it fell out. All right, I think I'm gonna have to get an extra hand to put these retainers in. I think I'll have to get G Junior out here to help me. But you get the gist of it. We're gonna push down on this and put the locks in and then release it. Of course, now I have dropped both the retainers and I do not know where they are. Okay, here's the one, and the other one hit my foot, so it's on the ground. So let me search for it and find the retainers and we'll come back in a second. All right, with a little finagling, I got the retainers in. I had to push up on the valve because the valve was sliding down, and then I got them in. And now all I have to do is take this loose, which I've already started to take loose. So I'll get that loose, get the valve spring tool out of here. There we go. All right, you can see that these retainers are a little bit different. They have a recess in here, so you know they're in there right. These do not. So definitely a higher quality retainer. You can see how it is. So now we're just going to go ahead and go on down the line, and I have all of them. I'm just going to go ahead and replace all the retainers and the valve locks, because I don't trust these anymore. You know, some of them are kind of gotten beat up, but there, got the first valve spring in, so I'll go ahead and get all of them done. And actually what I might do next is I might take this one apart, the one that's obviously not in correctly, and find out exactly what's going on with that one. Maybe I'll take this one apart next to see why that one's messed up. But there. And also too, I got the right spring pressure. This is like 115 pound seat pressure. That's what the cam card said it was supposed to have. So I do believe that is in there good. It looks really good. It's tight. It looks like it's supposed to be. The only thing I'm really worried about is no, we should be good. Actually, it looks like we might be a little. These are round. These retainers are rounded, so it actually stays away from the rocker arm a little bit better. So was worried about that, but not now. All right, so we got that one done. So not gonna badmouth anybody, but you should always go back over and check other people's work to make sure everything looks good, because I have a definite feeling if I would have just slapped this on here without inspecting this valve would have dropped, and that would have been a very, very bad situation. So, but we're going to take care of it, no problem. They did a wonderful job on the valve job, putting the seats in. That all looks great. The seals look great. They assembled it, but I'm just going to go back and I'm going to change all retainers and all the locks. I don't think I'm gonna show it again, but if I do, I'll come back and show you, or we'll be done with it. And I'll come back and show you what's going on with that other cylinder head. Let me get these other 7 done, and then we'll switch heads and start working on the other one. Alrighty, we got the other head taken care of and it's set away, and this is the second cylinder head. Everything went fine with that other one. This tool works really good. It actually is very well made, heavy duty. Now the only thing I had to do is, here, G Junior, hold the camera. I did come in here and I ground these 2 pieces away just a little bit, because the new retainer is really wide. These are really narrow, so I was able to get the keepers out of here without any problem. But with the really wide retainer here, it was hard to get the things in here. I can't remember what they're called now. But anyway, so I just ground those back just a little bit to make it easier to get the keepers in. That's what it is, the keepers. All right, so now that we've gone over that, I want to take this valve apart. You can see that this valve keeper is up very high, and this valve keeper is down very low. There is something going on here. I don't know what. So we're going to take it apart right now and figure out what is going on. You take your valve spring tool, you slide it over top, and you put it down as low as you can get it. It looks pretty good. Even it out. Start tightening down. And you can see right here what I'm talking about. See how much space there is here and here to get the valve keepers out. Oh, move the light down there. On this one, the other one didn't have as much room. Very nice that this has a 1/4 inch ratchet piece. So I'm just going to start bringing this down. All right. And figure out what is going on here. That one retainer is definitely stuck down. Something's going on here. I don't know what. Hopefully the valve is okay. All right. Get that out. Okay, so there's the first retainer, which was in correctly. This one looks like it's in too low. So what is going on here? Is it because the retainer got crushed? No, the retainer's the same height. Oh, okay. This retainer, the groove is in a different spot. So he must have put the wrong retainer in this one, because I do not believe it was like this from the get-go. So this probably would have been okay, but I don't think so. So, like I said, here, let me set these down one right next to each other. Here, get this on the skin. So, this is how they make the valve stick up higher or lower, is they have these to where the part that hooks in the valve is either up higher or up lower. And you can see that this one's down low and that one's up high. That's why that keeper was sitting in there funny. All right, let's come back up here and look at the valve. So we're going to pull this off, and we're going to take a look at the valve to make sure the groove is nice and sharp, which it is. Let me grab 2 new keepers. And they grab nice and good. Okay. So somehow a different keeper got mixed up with all the other keepers. That's why that one looks so funky, and I didn't trust it. All right, so now we're going to have to change the retainer, because the retainer and the new the valve locks, luckily I just didn't buy new. Okay, that's the retainer. Those are the valve locks. If I would have bought the comp cam just valve locks, they wouldn't have fit into the retainers. That's why I bought everything. Sorry about the interruption. So we pulled the spring off. We know what's wrong with the keepers now. I mean, I keep saying this is the valve spring retainer. Those are the valve keepers. Okay, so we now know what's wrong with the valve keepers. Now we're going to continue on. Like I said, I bought new valve keepers and new retainers because they fit together. They are matched. Thank God I did. So put the new one on here. Go ahead and put this back in the valve spring compressor. I don't have a cameraman right now. He's off working. So trying to put the spring back in, and then you want to screw it until it gets tight. There we go. That's all lined up. Go ahead and start tightening this up. I wish this thing had a wider angle on it. You don't want to go too much. It's like there's a fine line between too far and not far enough. I don't know what happened to the 1/4-inch ratchet. All right, you get it wound down, put it on here. All right, I think that's good enough. Now we have to get the 2 new valve keepers in. Let's see. There's the one. All right, there, they both clicked in. So now I usually like to lift up and make sure they're locked in. They're locked in. And now just go ahead and start loosening the spring. All right. And there we have it. And there we have it. It looks good. Retainers are in, all done. So we have 7 more to do on this one. But that's the problem with that valve, is this one keeper is in the center and one's down low. I don't know if the camera's actually picking it up. That's to change the valve spring height, or the valve, yeah, the valve spring height on these. So I don't know how or where this came from, because this cylinder head was not like that. All right, so that one's done. So now we got 7 more to go, and we'll get all those done. I don't think you want to watch me do 7 more of these, but I'll get them done. And I'll come back if there's a problem, and I'll get them all done, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, from what you can see, that time warp, it took me like 40 minutes to do all the rest of the valves. All the new retainers and the valve keepers are in. They all look so much better now. So now the next step is, I don't have them here, is we got to put the guide plates, all the pushrod guide plates in, and the rocker arm studs. Now on the rocker arm studs, you can see here that's, let's get a flashlight. See that? That is the intake port. So the intake port goes into that stud. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little Teflon tape around the ones that are open into the intake so I don't have a vacuum leak. But I don't have these here, they're at home. But that's what I'm going to do to assemble these. So now that I have the cylinder heads, new retainers and keepers in, we're all set to go with it. So I saved all this stuff, and you never know when you're going to need it. So there was that one keeper that was wrong. That's why that one looks so funky. So another thing too, you want to remember, if you do get the cams keepers and they're 10 degrees, you want to buy the retainers that are 10 degrees, because those keepers would have not have worked in here because these holes are way too small. These must be, maybe these are 7s. I don't know. Maybe they're just smaller. They look much better, high performance, thicker, and you can tell that they're all the way in and seated by the way they're designed, so you don't have to worry about second guessing it. Alrighty, so I got the cylinder heads rebuilt. They did an excellent job on the valve seats, replacing the 4 valve seats, and the valve job looks good, but there was something funky going on with that one keeper. He must have got a keeper mixed in from somebody else, and it was the wrong one. So I just went ahead and replaced all the keepers, because you do not want a valve dropping on the motors that you're building. So heads are almost set, and then we'll go ahead and get them back on the 351 Windsor. All right, everybody, I think this video's gone far enough. Please subscribe. You can always do that in that corner there. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the automotive videos and the Mad Mustang videos. The next video, we'll get the cylinder heads on and the intake on, and then this motor will be basically ready to go back in the car. All right, everybody, thanks a lot for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.